This time, we're going to discuss Luna Lovegood.
Oh, Luna Lovegood.
Yeah.
That's, I seem to remember either in a previous episode or maybe one of our social posts, it was the actress's birthday. And you,
Ivana
I
Lynch.
think, had mentioned, yes, that this was maybe your favorite character.
It's one of my favorite characters for sure. I love Luna. She's so fun.
Yeah.
I kind of identify with her in some ways.
Yeah, a little quirky.
Yep, exactly. She's a bit of an oddball, but in a good way.
Right. Well, good. We've broken the spell of having past episodes be pretty dark. So let's have a nice light episode and talk about
I'm going to put in some fun, dreamy, ethereal relief here.
Good. Okay.
Okay. Yes. So Luna is a Ravenclaw student. She's in Ravenclaw. And she's in the same year as Ginny Weasley. So 1 year younger than Harry, Ron, and Hermione. And they don't meet her until the 5th book, but she eventually becomes part of that big group of friends. And she's, a bit of an oddball, quirky. She wears kooky clothes and jewelry. Most notably, I always love her radish earrings and the life-size roaring lion's head hat that she wears to support the Gryffindor Quidditch team. Yeah. And she believes in a lot of things that most wizards don't. She's kind of a conspiracy theorist in that way. Which comes a lot, I think, from her father, Xenophilius. He'll get his own episode, I'm sure, later on. She was raised only by her father. Her mother died when she was 9, I think, experimenting with a spell that went wrong.
Oh, no.
Yeah. But her father is the editor of a kind of alternative wizarding magazine called The Quibbler, which has a lot of those kind of odd stories, conspiracy theory stories.
So a paper that might be at the checkout aisle at a grocery store.
Yeah, right? Yeah. So Luna is often teased for being different and often called Loony. That's kind of a nickname that people give her. Yeah. But Luna, the word Luna, you might know what this means. Do you have any idea?
I think it's related to the moon.
It is. In fact, it means moon in Latin and Italian, Russian, Spanish, Bulgarian, and Romanian. And slight variations in many other languages, including English, like the word lunar comes from luna, meaning related to the moon. So, back in the olden days, people often thought that the moon was responsible for making people crazy, which is the origin of terms like loony and lunatic. So it makes sense for Luna because that's a lot of people see her as a little bit touched in the head there,
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
A little bit touched by the moon.
So that's where kind of origins of kind of werewolf stories come from too, related to full moons.
Exactly. Yeah. Luna is also the name of the Roman goddess of the moon. Which, is kind of appropriate for Luna. She's sort of an ethereal, dreamy figure apart from others, So in that way, and she's sort of a goddess, floating around there, knowing stuff that the others don't or thinking she does. Yep.
Yeah.
And then her last name's pretty simple. It's a compound word. It means just what it says, love and good. But I do think that it's appropriate for Luna. It describes her very well. She's very loving and warm and good-hearted. And, she even, forgives people who taunt her. And she cares for those who don't much care for her. She's a good person.
Yeah. Yeah, especially for someone who, at least maybe earlier in her life at Hogwarts, was probably picked on, misunderstood. Very
alone. Yeah, I remember at one point, Harry refers to her as his friend. I think it's Harry. And she's like, oh, a friend? We're friends? I have a friend. Oh, my God. Which is a little bit sad, but it just makes me love her more.
Right. Yeah.
I have a quote from J.K. Rowling related to Luna.
Okay.
Rowling says, she's slightly out of step in many ways, but she's the anti-Hermione. Hermione's so logical and inflexible in so many ways, and Luna is likely to believe 10 impossible things before breakfast.
Yeah.
She actually kind of lifted the end of that quote from Lewis Carroll from Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, where he says, people are likely to believe 6 impossible things before breakfast. She upped it. Luna's going to believe 10 impossible things. She's crazier than Wonderland.
That's funny.
But,
this isn't necessarily related to the meaning behind the character's name, but I seem to remember that there's a fun kind of connection that the actress who played her, kind of how she got the role, right?
Yeah, there's see if I can remember this. She they did like a nationwide search for an unknown actress to play her, and like thousands of girls auditioned, and she hadn't been an actress before, but Luna was her favorite character. She loved her, and she came in and she nailed it, and she was perfect for the role. I think it was a really good choice for that actress. Yeah, so it was her favorite character, and she went after it, and she got it.
Yeah. Well, definitely did a great job of bringing the role to life on screen that was so well described in the books.
Yeah. And just one other little thing I wanted to mention, for being such an outsider and such an oddball, she eventually becomes so important to Harry, especially to the main characters, that Harry and Ginny name their daughter after her.
Oh, really?
Yeah, middle name. Their daughter's name is Lily Luna.
Oh,
so,
yeah. Do we know what happens to Luna? Does she survive the big battle at the end? Do we see how her adult life ends up?
She does survive. Not in the books, but if you go on, Pottermore or the Wizarding World, you can read about what happens to her. And I want to say she becomes a professor, and eventually, like, late in life, like in her 40s, she gets married or something like that. But I always wanted her to end up with Neville, Oh,
yeah.
But I don't think she does.
That would be a fan fiction.
Right? Yeah. I'm sure there's plenty of fan fiction out there on that.
Yeah. Well, very cool. Yeah, what a great character. A very great name. The alliteration is in there. I'm always a fan of alliteration for some reason.
Yeah. There's a lot of that in these books.
There is, yes. Well, great. Well, if you enjoyed learning about Luna Lovegood's name and want to learn more about other characters and spells and places and things, make sure to subscribe to the Potternims podcast, and you can also find us on Facebook and Instagram at Potternims. And be sure to like and subscribe and share with your friends as well.
If you want a little more bonus content, you can check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/Potternims. Help support the podcast and get some cool extras.
Yeah. Well, until next time, I'm Erik.
And I'm Al.
And this has been Potternims.